sorry. What are some tools or resources that the world needs to make it more accessible?
Education is my answer. The world needs to be more educated on disabilities and different disabilities. I think the world has an idea of what one disability is, but not what hundreds of them are. There's way more than one.
Yeah, there's tons of disability. And what are some of the challenges you have faced on your disability, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
I think by changing my mindset. I think at the beginning, I had a very negative mindset and thought, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get out of this chair and I'm going to walk again. And that's not what happened. That was almost 4 years ago now, or close to. But, that's just not what happened. But I think changing my mindset, and I don't remember what the question was. I'm just talking now. But I changed my mindset to be more inclusive. And I think I kind of had that mindset of, I was just done. I had to, live my life in this chair, and I didn't know what I could even do with it. I had trouble transferring. I fell a lot. And I thought, I'll just never do anything again. And then my life when I changed my mindset, my world got opened up. I think it was when I met other people like me as well that were doing things, I was opened up to, okay, I can do this. And so I'm not really sure what the question was, but I turned it around. But I'm gonna say
the question. So, what are some challenges you have faced with your disability, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
I stayed on task.
Yeah.
I think just changing your mindset and finding people like you, or that's what I did, is I found people like me and changed my mindset. And a lot of the times I'll put like little quotes or something on my mirror to help me remember that, certain things, one of them is start every day like a beginner, or, just different things like that. That I can help keep myself in a positive mindset.
That's great advice. So you have very good advice for almost everything.
It comes, I don't know. I don't think I do, but this is me rattling off stuff.
If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
So I was, and I didn't mention this earlier, I was not in a wheelchair when I was younger, but I was diagnosed with a chronic illness when I was younger. I was diagnosed with a very, very, very severe and life-threatening bleeding disorder at birth. And so I did have to do certain things growing up. And I didn't think my life was going to be what it was going to be like. And I would just tell her to keep going. You're going to have this beautiful life.
Yeah, that's like, you just learned that through life.
Yeah, I had to get myself 3, well, I still have to do it, but hopefully we'll be backing off soon. 3 infusions. So I do infusions 3 times a week growing up since I was about 2 years old is when they came out with the medications. And for 3 days a week, every single week till now.
That will be
a year ago, they came out with a subcutaneous version of my medication that I take every other week. So I just give myself a little shot in the stomach. So I think little Hannah would have been crying. So I would tell her to just keep pushing on. That medicine's coming.
So that would be, as a younger kid, I bet it will be like a very traumatic thing to go every other week, like take shots and stuff like
It
every
was
single week.
every other day. I would get infusions, so an IV in my arm, and would get an infusion every other day.
Yeah.
And still do it. I just do it myself. I became a nurse because I thought I might as well get paid for it.
How do you deal with fear of judgment or putting yourself out there in the world, in social media and everywhere?
So this is a good one. So sometimes I feel really confident about it, and then other times I start feeling kind of weird about it. I'm not as confident as a person as you may think I am. You know, when you see all the posts and everything, I'm actually pretty shy. But I sometimes feel like, oh, maybe I don't want to post that. I don't know. I don't I don't want to post another picture of myself. But confidence, I think, grows. I've heard this quote that confidence is a muscle, and the more
Yeah, I
you use the
remember.
muscle, the stronger that it grows. And so I have started to live by that. One of my dance instructors, I took dance back in Louisiana, and she actually used to be a pussycat doll. And so I took heels with her, and she told me that. She said, because she had me walk the catwalk down it, and she said, strut your stuff. And she looked at me at the end and she said, you didn't mean that. Do it again. And I said, oh, okay. And she tried again. She looked at me and she said, you didn't mean that either. Do it again. And she said, we're going to do this until you mean it. And that's what she told me. She said, confidence is a muscle and you got to work at it. And so I think that's my advice there is fake it till you make it, and work on confidence like a muscle. All muscles, and work on them and work on them and work on them and become an elite power athlete. So you can become an elite power confident athlete.
Yeah, that's
right. Work on it.
What made you want to learn ASL?
So my mom actually was a teacher for the deaf and the blind growing up, and I started learning as a little kid. I actually know my Braille alphabet. Do I still know it? Probably not. I could probably pick out a few letters. And then I had mild hearing loss and knew with my family history that it was probably going to go downhill. So I started learning. I took deaf ed in high school and did all 3 years. I did that as my foreign language. It was kind of a cheat because I already knew how to sign. My teacher said that I was going to be an interpreter, but that's not what happened. But that's what made me want to sign, because I was deaf.
Yeah, that's great. And a great challenge.
I love it. It's my language that I go back to when I backslide.
How long have you been doing ASL?
29 years. I'm 29 years old.
Since all your life,
My whole life, yeah.
What have been some of the benefits to learn ASL?
You can sign through a window. You can sign when it's loud. You can sign when it's quiet. You can sneaky sign to a friend. But no, if my hearing aids died, or I actually prefer to sign anyway. It's a more visual language for me. And sometimes, actually, the other day at my counselor, I couldn't think of a word. I can only think of it in sign language. Didn't really help her out very much. But I think in sign language mainly a lot. And So I think it helps out with just being artistic too, because when you learn a language that it is artistic, it is a language that is creative, you become a more artistic person. But yeah, ASL, you can sign through a window. It's never too loud to sign. It's never too quiet to sign. So highly suggested.
Yeah, and it's like as I said it before, it's like a great challenge for people that doesn't know, and it's like to have like inclusion with people with deaf situations or people with hearing disabilities and stuff. So I want to just do a last question, and my last question is, who is your disability hero and why?
Well, this one it's kind of awkward because I have met her, and it's the reason is because I've met her. Her name's Megan Blunk, and she is a Paralympic basketball player. She met me at a CAF event, and I was feeling really, really depressed at that time. And she talked to me, and she let me sit in her chair, and it was the first time I'd ever sat in a sports chair. And I was just getting into tennis. Well, I'd been into tennis for about 8 months and had never sat in a chair that fit me at all. My chair is about 13 inches, and that chair is 13 and a half inches, and that chair was 18 inches, the one that I've been playing in. So it was a lot bigger. And so when I sat in her chair and it was the first time it fit me, it opened up the world of sports to me. And I knew that I could do that. And she has kept up with me. And I know that she struggles with depression. She's open about that. And I do too. And she has just been really great about keeping up with me. So I think someone who can be an Olympian and be that open with kids and with other people deserves to be a disability hero.
A disability hero, as we call it.
Sorry?
A disability hero, as we call it.
And record?
A disability hero, as I called it before.
As you call it before? I couldn't get the last part?
A disability hero, as I call it. As you call it,
yeah. Yeah, a disability hero, as you call it, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you, Hannah. Those were the questions that I had for you, and anything you want to say just to finish. Unfortunately, Tiff couldn't make it, but she will be very happy to be with you. So unfortunately, she couldn't make it. So it's anything you want to say just before we finish?
So I want to tell you an interesting fact about sign language that people don't know.
Go ahead.
Sign language is not a universal language. So what we're used to is American Sign Language. There's Mexican Sign Language. There's a British Sign Language, which is very, very different to American Sign Language. There's Spanish Sign Language. There's Italian Sign Language. And it's because where do languages come from? They come from the communities making them. So it's not a universal language. That's a very common misconception.
Yeah.
So when you see me signing, I'm signing an American Sign Language.
And if you feel comfortable with, can you sign anything? And
what would you like me to sign?
Like
this is I love you.
Okay.
So a good one is hi.
Okay. Hi.
And thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
It comes from the chin. Thank you.
Okay. So
thank you. And it was
thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So nice
to meet
you.
Bye. Bye, Hannah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.